Day 103, verses 30 to 32, Seeing the One in the Many. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Yesterday, the Gita described one of the highest fruits of yoga. As the mind becomes peaceful and established in the self, the seeker begins to see the same divine presence in every living being. Today, it carries that insight further and describes what life begins to look like when this vision becomes real. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost to them, and they are never lost to me. Having spoken of the self in the previous verses, Krishna now speaks in the language of the divine. For many of us, our awareness of the divine comes and goes. We may feel close to God during prayer, in a temple, or during moments of gratitude. Then daily life resumes and that awareness quietly fades into the background. Krishna describes something entirely different. For one who has attained the highest level of yoga, the culmination of yoga is an omnipresent connection with divinity. The divine is no longer experienced only in sacred moments. Every place becomes sacred because every part of creation is recognized as resting in the divine. There is no place or no crisis where this connection does not exist. The yogi who is established in union with me and worships me as the Supreme Soul residing in all beings lives only in me at all times, though engaged in all kinds of activities. The yogi may continue living an ordinary life, fulfilling responsibilities, working, serving others, and participating fully in the world. This reveals an important truth. Yoga is not a fragile state that exists only while we sit in meditation in a quiet room with our eyes closed. The awareness of the divine is no longer confined to moments of worship. Every interaction becomes part of one's relationship with God because the same divine presence is recognized in every living being. Yoga, therefore, is not an escape from life, it is a different way of living with it. One who judges the pleasure or pain of others by the same standard they use for themselves, seeing equality everywhere, is considered the highest yogi, O Arjuna. This verse describes the highest expression of this vision, Atma Upamyana, the ability to use oneself as the blueprint for how to engage with the world. The highest yogi is one who sees another's happiness and suffering as they would see their own. We know what it feels like to be anxious. We know what it feels like to hope, to grieve, to feel misunderstood, or to long for acceptance. Krishna asks us to recognize that everyone we see experiences these same realities just as deeply. When we truly begin to see the same self in every being, another person's joy no longer feels separate from our own, nor does his suffering. Equal vision becomes our reality. Most of us experience the world from the center of our own lives. Our hopes feel immediate because they are ours. Our disappointments feel heavier because they happen to us. Even when we care deeply about others, there remains a subtle difference in the way we feel about their lives. The Gita suggests that as the practice of yoga deepens, this sense of separation begins to soften. We continue to recognize the differences between people, but they no longer become the whole story. Beneath every personality, every circumstance, and every role, we begin to recognize the same divine presence and the same longing for happiness that we know within ourselves. This changes the foundation of our relationship with others. Their joys no longer feel entirely unrelated to our own, and their suffering no longer feels like someone else's problem. we begin to recognize another life that is just as real, just as precious, and just as deeply felt as our own. Perhaps this is why Krishna describes this as one of the highest expressions of yoga. Spiritual growth is not measured only by the peace we discover within ourselves. It is also revealed in the gradual disappearance of the invisible walls that separate my life from your life. The journey of yoga begins with learning to steady our own mind. It ends by changing the way we meet every life around us. Thought of the day. Every person carries joys and struggles that are as real to them as ours are to us. Pause for a moment today and reflect. Can I respond to someone today with the same understanding I hope others would show me? Thank you for joining me on Gita 360. May we remember that the practice of yoga is not only reflected in the peace we discover within ourselves, but also in the way we meet every life around us.